Good morning. I'm Dr. Wilson Paul, Associate Professor, Department of Corporate Secretaryship of KCS Kakinada College of Arts and Science. Now, I'll give you the format for turnover ratio. We'll start with the turnover ratios first. Okay. And under the turnover ratio, there are three more important formulas are there. Okay. See, you can see the three columns are given here. The first column represents stock turnover ratio within bracket times, then debtor turnover ratio in times, creditors turnover ratio in times. Okay. So the first formula for stock turnover ratio, cost of goods sold by average stock. Then second formula for debtors turnover ratio, net credit sales by average receivable. Then third formula for creditors turnover ratio, credit purchases by average payable. From the three formulas, one is common over here, the denominator. For everything you divide by average. The first one you divide by average stock, second one average receivable. Since it is debtors, you divide by average receivable. If it's creditors, it is average payable. Okay. Now next, for cost of goods sold, what is the formula for cost of goods sold? Sales minus GP for stock turn ratio. Then for same ways for debtors, what is the how will you find net credit sales? Total sales minus cash sales minus sales return. Okay, the same way, how will you find total cash purchases? Total credit purchases, I'm sorry. So total purchases minus cash purchases minus purchase return. That's how. The same way, how will you find the average stock? The formula for average stock will be opening stock plus closing stock divided by 2. The same way, average receivable. Here, opening debtors, OPDRS means opening debtors, opening BR plus closing debtors, closing BR, the whole divided by 2. So that is the average for average receivable. That is the formula for average receivable. Then formula for average payable, opening creditors plus opening bills payable, closing creditors plus closing bills payable, whole divided by 2. Okay, for all the receivables you dividing by 2. If you have two items, for your kind information, if you have opening and closing only, then you can divide by 2. Suppose you don't have opening balance, you have only the closing balance, then there's no need for you to divide by 2. Okay, the closing stock will be the average stock. Is that clear? Any doubt? I'll repeat again. For average stock, you can see everything is divided by 2. All the three formulas, the denominator is 2, 2, 2. Okay. When you need to divide by 2, when you add two items to get average, when you add two items, you will divide by 2. If there's only one item, for example, in average stock, you have only closing stock is given in the sum. Opening stock is not total given. In that case, there's no need for you to divide by 2. Only when you add 2, you divide by 2. If you have only one value, the closing stock alone, no need to divide by 2. Okay. The closing stock will be the average stock. That's it. The same formula will be applied here for average receivable. If you don't have opening debtors and opening BR, the closing debtor and closing BR alone will be called as average receivable. No need to divide by 2 also. The same way average payable. Opening creditors, opening bills payable, closing creditors, closing bills payable divided by 2. So that is your average payable. Is it clear? So now we'll go next slide now. Another formula is your nothing but your stock velocity. Okay, we'll see them. Now, stock turnover, the previous page we saw stock turnover ratio in times. Now I'm going to see stock turnover ratio in days or month. Okay, the same way, data turnover ratio we saw in times. Now we are going to see data turnover ratio in days or month. The same way, creditors turnover ratio. Previously we saw creditors turnover ratio within bracket times. Now we are going to see days or month. Okay, what is another name for stock turnover ratio days or month? It's called stock turnover period or stock velocity. Okay, the same way, debtors turnover ratio, another name is debtors collection period or debtors velocity. Okay, then creditors turnover ratio, days or month, then creditors payment period, then creditors velocity. Is it clear? All the three, there are three names for each and everything. The first formula for stock. number of days or month in a year divided by stock turnover ratio, which means in all the cases you can see that if it is debtors turnover ratio, number of days or month in a year divided by debtors turnover ratio. If it is creditors turnover ratio, number of days or month in a year divided by creditors turnover ratio. Is it clear? So the formula here represents the debtors velocity, stock velocity, and creditors velocity. Okay. And one thing you can see in all the three cases, you can see days or month in a year, days or month in a year, days or month in a year, days or month. Okay. So which means you have two answers over here. If you ask to find debtors velocity or stock velocity or creditors velocity, okay, you have to give two answers. First one, you use a month, you use a day first. In a year, you have how many days are there in a year? 365. So 365 divided by stock turnover ratio will give one answer. And the answer will be called in days. Then, how many months are there in a year? 12. 12 divided by stock turnover ratio will give you, the answer is called as months. The same way you do your debtors turnover ratio and creditors turnover ratio. Okay, creditors, that is in days or month. Is it clear? So you memorize the formula, we'll do the sum. Now, the next slide. The first sum number 1. From the following details of a trader, you are required to calculate stock turnover ratio. Okay, you know already what is the data given here: sales, return, opening stock, purchases, gross profit. Okay, you know what is the formula for stock. Now we'll do the answer now. The formula for stock turnover ratio will be cost of goods sold by average stock. Then how will you find cost of goods sold and how will you find average stock? That is given here. So cost of goods sold, sales minus GP. We know the sales is given as 39,984. Then minus gross profit is given here at 8,062. So the cost of goods sold will be 31,536. For sales, you are given sales return is there. So to find out sales, you will minus sales return first. Okay. Sales is nothing but sales minus sales return. That is the net sales only you should take. Okay. So the net sales will be 39,604. The gross sales will be 39,984 before the closing stock, before the sales return. Is it clear? So now we know the cost of goods sold and we know the sales. We know that when I'll find the average stock now. For average stock, what is the formula? Opening stock plus closing stock divided by 2. Opening stock is 1,378, closing stock is 2,814. Then add and divide them by 2 will give you 1,596. So that will be average stock. So once you know the stock cost of goods sold and average stock, you divide and get the stock turnover ratio. The answer you get here will be called as in times, not in month or days. Okay. So 31,536 divided by 1,596 give you 19.76 times. The stock turnover ratio is 19.76 times. Is it clear? So for this you should memorize the formulas. Okay. Next slide. No, sorry. Next sum we'll do now. Cost of sum number 2. Calculate the stock turnover ratio again and stock turnover period from the following sales, which means the second formula for stock turnover ratio. The sales is given as 10 lakh, gross profit is 20%. Here, see, only the percentage is given here. So if a percentage is given, you calculate the percentage on your sales, which means the gross profit will be 10 lakh into 20 by 100. Is it clear? Excuse me. Now, opening stock is given as 1,75,000 and closing stock is given as 1,45,000. Okay, now you apply in the formula now. What is the formula for average stock? The average stock will be cost of goods sold divided by, the average stock will be opening stock plus closing stock divided by 2. The cost of goods sold will be sales minus GP. Okay, now look here. The sales minus GP, the 10 lakh minus 20% of 10 lakh will give me 2 lakh. Therefore, my cost of goods sold is 8 lakh. Now, next slide. Here, I am going to find the average stock here. Opening stock plus closing stock divided by 2. Opening stock is 1,75,000. Closing stock 1,45,000. Add them and divide by 2 will give you 1,60,000. That is the average stock. So now I know the cost of goods sold, now I know the average stock. Then divide and find your stock turnover ratio. So 8 lakh by 1,60,000 will give me 5 times you call it as. Okay, so keep that in mind. Whenever you find a stock turnover ratio, the answer we call it as times. Okay, now they want you to find stock turnover period. Okay, I told you that when you ask to find stock turnover period or stock velocity in times or days or month, you do number of days or month in a year divided by stock turnover period. So I'm going to give two answers here. I'm using days one formula, using months one formula. Using days, 365 by 5 will give me 73 days. What is month? 12 months divided by 5 will give me 2.4. Okay, so that is the answer for your stock turnover ratio and stock turnover period. So whenever you ask to find stock turnover period, don't forget you will have to give two answers in month as well as in days. Now sum number 3. Pangajam Limited sells goods on cash as well as on credit. The following information is extracted from the books of accounts of 1993. The sales. What is the sales here? 1 lakh. Then what are the cash sales included in the above? Is 20,000. Then sales return is 7,000. The data for the sales that is we are doing for 1993. So closing data is given as 9,000. Closing BR is given as 2,000. Then provision for bad debts or doubtful debt, trade creditors, discount from suppliers. So the last three items are not at all needed for working out this answer. Okay, don't forget for last it's not at all needed. Okay, provision is not needed. Creditors, we are doing data center ratio. What's the need for doing creditors? Nothing. Then suppliers. Supplier is nothing but the purchase, the creditor. They don't need that also. Okay. Now I'll find data turnover ratio first. To find data turnover ratio, what is the formula now? I will go to the next slide now. The formula for data turnover ratio will be credit sales by average receivable. How will you find credit sales? Total sales minus cash sales minus sales return. My total sales is 1 lakh. Cash sales is 20,000. Credit sales is 7,000. The sales return is 7,000. My answer will be 73,000 is your credit sales. Then average receivable. Opening stock, opening debtor, closing debtor. Opening debtor plus opening BR. Closing debtor plus closing BR. The whole divided by 2. Okay, we add opening. So here in this sum also the closing debtors and closing BR alone is given there. I told you before itself, when you don't have the opening, no need for you to divide by 2. Therefore, the average receivable will be when you add closing debtor and BR together, that is the average receivable. Okay, closing debtors is 9,000, closing BR is 2,000. So 9 plus 2 is 11,000. So that will be your average receivable. I know already my credit sales. So 73,000 by average receivable 11,000 will give me 6.636 times, not in month or days. Okay. Now I want to find stock turnover period. That is average collection period. In other words, debtors velocity also we can say. What's the formula for that? Number of days or month in a year divided by debtors turnover ratio. Here, I'll start with the days first. How many days are there? If the problem is silent, we have to use 365. Suppose if the problem gives you and they ask you to write for the year there's only 360 days, then in that case you use only 360 days. Okay, here in the sum the problem is silent with regard to the number of working days, so we assume it is only 365. 365 divided by the data turnover ratio 6.636 will give you 55 days. So when I use days, the answer will be called in days. When I use month, the answer will be called in month. So 12 divided by 6.636 will give me 1.8 months. So that's it. Now I'll go to sum number 4. Here, the following particulars are given here. What are you going to find here? You are given purchases, total purchase, cash purchase, purchase return, creditors at the end, bills payable at the end. You ask to find creditors turnover ratio and creditors turnover period or creditors payment period or average payment period. All these three are same. Okay. the answer in the next slide. For creditors turnover ratio, what is the formula first? Net credit sales divided by average payable. Okay, then how will you find net credit sales? It is purchases. Net credit turnover ratio, net credit purchases by average payable. How will you find net credit purchases? Total purchases minus cash purchases minus purchase return. So 2 lakh minus 20 minus 34, that is 1,45,000. That is your credit purchases. Average payable, I told you no. Here also, whenever you say average, you will have opening and closing together and divide by 2. Here, opening creditors and opening bills payable, and closing creditors and closing bills payable. The whole divided by 2 will give you average payable. Okay, I told you in the previous sum itself, if you don't have the opening balances, then what will be the average here? The closing alone will be the average. No need to divide by 2 and all. Okay. Therefore, the average payable will be closing creditors and closing bills payable. When I add them together, it will give you average. Here in the sum, the closing creditors is 70,000. The closing bills payable is 40,000. Therefore, my average bills payable is 1,10,000. Average payable, accounts payable is 1,10,000. Now I'll substitute in the formula. 1,46,000, that is 1,46,000 divided by 1,10,000 will give me 1.2327. So when you find stock turnover ratio, you will add it next to that, you say it is times. Okay, the answer will be 1.327 times, not days or month. Is it clear? Then average payment period. For average payment period, I told you no, you have two values: number of days or month in a year divided by creditors turnover ratio. So I have to give two answers now. I am going to use 365 as the days. 365 divided by 1.327 is equal to 275. Then 12 months divided by 1.327 will give me 9.04 months. So this is all about your ratios in your stock, debtors and creditors. Is it clear? And these are the sums which you did in +2 itself, I remember. Do you remember that? So these are the stock turnover ratio, debtors turnover ratio, creditors turnover ratio and all you did in your +2 itself. Now, we are going to find the reverse now. They'll give you the, no, so far what you found is they gave you the values, we found the ratios, am I right? They gave you sales, cost of goods sold, average receivable, average payable, average stock, everything they gave you. We found the ratios. Now we are going to do the reverse. Okay, and whatever we did so far, you did already in +2. Then now the one which you are going to do now is totally different. It is not done in +2. You are going to do now only here in the final year. Is it clear? Then now here. So the problem will give you the values. Is it clear? Is that problem will give you the values? No, the problem will give you the ratios here. I'll read some number 5 now. Determine the value of closing stock from the following details. Sales 4 lakh, gross profit 10% on sales, stock turnover ratio is 4 times. See, in the previous 4 sums, we found the ratios. Here, in sum, you find the ratio. Stock turnover ratio is 4 times. And closing stock is 10,000 in excess of opening stock. So this is the sum. What we are going to find now? We are going to find the closing stock. What is the closing stock value now? Okay. It is nothing but the reverse. We will use X and find the values. Okay. Since we are given stock turnover ratio, we'll start with the stock turnover ratio formula in times itself. Now, what is the formula for stock turnover ratio? Cost of goods sold by average stock. I know the cost of goods sold because the sales is given as 4 lakh and gross profit is given as 10% on sale. So out of 4 lakh, 10% will give me 40,000. What will be my cost of goods sold now? 3,60,000. Is that clear? My cost of goods sold will be 3,60,000 divided by average stock. For average stock, I need opening stock plus closing stock. I'll add them together and divide them together. Will give me my average stock. But here the problem says that the closing stock was 10,000 in excess of opening stock, which means I don't know what is the closing stock. I don't know what is the opening stock also. Okay, so I'll start with the X now. For example, for stock turnover ratio, what is the formula you know for stock turnover ratio? Cost of goods sold by average stock, which will give you 4 times. I know the cost of goods sold, which is 3,60,000. I don't know my average stock. Therefore, I will take it as X equal to 4. Okay, that is what is done in the next slide. Look here. Stock turnover ratio is equal to 3,60,000 divided by X is equal to 4 times. That is 3,60,000 by 4 is equal to X. That is X is equal to 90,000. What is the X here? The average, the denominator. Okay, so average stock will be 90,000. Now, what is the formula for average stock? Opening stock plus closing stock divided by 2. Okay, in substituting in the formula for average stock, that is opening stock plus closing stock divided by 2 will give me 90,000. That's what I found now. I found the average stock is 90,000. The average stock answer is 90,000. I will apply that in the formula for average stock. Okay, average stock is closing stock plus opening stock divided by 2 is equal to 90,000. Now, the problem says the closing stock is 10,000 more than the opening stock. The problem says that opening stock, closing stock is 10,000 more than the opening stock. Is it clear? What the problem says here? The closing stock will be rupees 10,000 more than the opening stock. Suppose we assume simple, for I give a simple example, not an exact answer, it is a simple example. Suppose my opening stock is 50,000. Then what should be my closing stock then? 10,000 more 60,000. Okay, so that's what you're going to find out. I have to find the opening stock first then. Okay, if I find opening stock and I'm going to add that 10,000 to the opening stock, will give me closing stock. Okay, now therefore now let us take the opening stock as X. Okay, I'm going to take the opening stock as X. Now if we don't know we don't know the opening stock, I'm going to take therefore X plus even closing stock I don't know, but I know closing stock will be opening stock, that is X plus 10,000 value. Is it clear? Opening stock I'm going to take it as X. The closing stock is 10,000 more than the opening stock. Okay, now the opening stock is nothing but X here. So again I'll write the X plus 10,000. Okay, the whole divided by 2 is equal to 90,000. Now, okay, now there are two X's there. X plus 10,000 is equal to 90,000 into 2. The 2 will go to the other side. The denominator 2 will go to the other side. Therefore, 2x plus 10,000 is equal to 90 into 2, 1,80,000. Now, 2x is equal to 1,80,000. The 10,000 will go to the other side, will minus now. So 1,80,000 minus 10,000 will give me 1,60,000. Oh, sorry, 1,70,000. Okay. Now, therefore, x will be 1,70,000 divided by 2. So 1,70,000 divided by 2 will give me how much? 1,70,000 divided by 2 will give me 85,000. Is it clear? Therefore, my x is nothing but 85,000. That is the opening stock. So once I know the opening stock, I'm going to add the 10,000 to that, will give me 95,000. That is the closing stock. Is that clear? Any doubt? So this is all about the reverse thing. So in the previous 4 sums, they gave you the value, we found the ratio. Here they gave you the ratio and we found the value. We found the closing stock is 95,000. Okay, any doubt? Okay. Now we'll go to the next sum. Ascertain the closing data from the following data. Okay, the previous one we saw the closing stock. Now we're going to find the closing data. Now for this I am to the data given here, sales is 40 lakh, cash sales is 4 lakh, data is collection period is 60 days. So see within bracket for days it is given as 360, which means in this particular sum it is not 365 days, it is only 360 days. Okay, in the formula we have to use only 360 days. Then closing bills receivable is 10,000. Okay, so this is the sum. We'll see now. Now for debtors turnover ratio, we have to find the credit sales. The data, what is the formula for debtors turnover ratio? Is nothing but credit sales by average receivable. Is it ratios given here in the answer in the sum? They are given only the debtors collection period. Okay, since the debtors collection period is given, we'll start from there. So debtors, what is the formula for debtors collection period? Number of days or month in a year divided by debtors turnover ratio. Is it clear? Now number of days a month in a year divided by debtors turnover ratio. I'm going to start only from there. Okay, now so number of days is given as 360 divided by, I don't know what is debtors turnover ratio. I know only debtors collection period. Therefore 360 divided by x is equal to 60 days. The answer is, how much is the answer? Therefore 6 times is the debtors turnover ratio. Okay, now once I know the debtors turnover ratio, that is 6 times, I use the formula for debtors turnover ratio. Now the formula for debtors turnover ratio is credit sales by average receivable. I know the credit sales as 36 lakh. That is 40 lakh minus 4 lakh. Okay, total sales minus cash sales will give me credit sales. Now credit sales divided by average receivable is equal to 6 times. Okay, I don't know what is the average receivable now, therefore I take it as x now. So 36 lakh divided by x is equal to 6 times. Then what will be the x value now? 36 lakh divided by 6 will give me 6 lakh. That is my average receivable. Okay, since in the sum the opening is not given there. Okay, I told you so many sums. When the opening is not given, for average what you do now? No need to divide by 2. Okay, therefore the closing alone will be the average. Okay, therefore what is the closing here? Closing debtors and closing BR is equal to, the problem says it is 6 lakh. Okay, I know the closing BR. From 6 lakh, when I minus the closing BR, that is 10,000 which is given as a sum, the value will be 5,90,000. So that will be my closing debtors. Any doubt? Okay.